What's up, everybody? So you want to track who's been to your website so that you can run Facebook and Instagram ads to those individuals? Well, the Facebook Pixel is absolutely the tool for you. By the end of this video, you're not only going to understand fully how the Facebook Pixel works, but also how to install it properly and how to use it properly moving into 2021. So stay tuned. Hey everyone, my name is Preston and I'm a licensed realtor and I help other realtors and entrepreneurs level up online. Now, I have personally had the pleasure to spend over $100,000 on Facebook and Instagram ads for my own business, so I'm here to share with you some of that knowledge today. The Facebook Pixel is an absolute cornerstone in online marketing today. All of the big players use it, and essentially what it does is it connects your website or your landing page to your Facebook ad account, and it allows them to communicate. So what that does is two things. One, it allows you to take people who visited specific pages on your website or your landing page, or who took specific actions, and run new ads to those people. The second thing that it does is it actually allows you to optimize your ads for conversions, meaning you can tell Facebook that your objective with your ad is to get people to go to your website or landing page and actually take a specific action, such as purchase a product, become a lead, fill out my contact form, whatever it may be. And then Facebook can learn when people take those actions and what type of people are taking those actions so they can improve your ads. So that's what I'm going to talk to you about today and how to actually use the Pixel. Now, if you're a real estate agent and you want to learn more about online lead generation, I have a full-fledged masterclass, which is far more than I can get into this one video. But in that masterclass, we're going to talk about a few things. The whole picture of online lead gen, starting with your website, your landing pages, your CRM, all the cornerstones, but not only that, obviously your Facebook ads, your Google ads, and all your online lead generation sources. So if you want to link to that masterclass, it's an awesome training. Leave a comment below and I will send you a link to that. Without further ado, let's get into this video. All right, everyone, let's talk about the Facebook Pixel for a minute. Now, I've already kind of explained how it works to you, but I want to go into that in a little more detail. First of all, installing the Pixel does two things. As I said, one, it allows your your website or your landing page to actually communicate with your ads manager, right? Number two, it allows, and this is a really important one, it allows you to optimize your ads for conversion. So you're telling Facebook what a conversion means. So if you're trying to get purchases on your website and you install the Pixel, there'll usually be a default event called purchase, and you can tell Facebook ads that you want that to happen. So for example, if 100 people click on your ad and go to your website and 10 people make a purchase, Facebook knows that those 10 people are the type of people that they should start targeting with their ad. And it'll slowly start learning over time, and it'll start to get better and smarter about who they show your ad to. Because if you're targeting, like, say you're doing e-commerce and you're targeting nationwide, or you're a realtor and you're targeting your entire city, there's a lot of people there. So Facebook will learn what people are taking the desired action and actually start showing your ad to more and more people. So that's how you optimize for conversions when you run an ad. Generally, when you go to run an ad, if you're new to it, you'll see objectives like traffic or messages or conversions. When you install the Pixel and you set up your events, which I'm going to show you how to do, you can actually optimize your ads for conversion. So that's number one, is just understanding how the Facebook Pixel actually works. Number two is actually installing it. So you're going to go to your Facebook page and you're going to click on this little plus button, right? And you're going to click on ad, and that's allowing you to create an ad. But all that's going to do is take you to Facebook Ads Manager, okay? So I already have it loaded up here, but this is essentially the back end of Facebook where you're going to run all of your ads. Now, if you haven't seen this before, then you may not have run some ads, and that's okay. Generally, installing the Pixel is the first thing you want to do before you run ads. So this is my ad account here. So I can see all the metrics for all the ads that I've run, and every single ad I run is a conversion-based ad or a lead generation ad. For the reason that I just explained, conversion ads are generally what you want to go with because Facebook knows what a conversion means. So when I'm running these ads, you can see these results. So like this ad is a retargeting ad where we're retargeting people who've watched our webinar with testimonials of students from our program, right? So we had one, this is yesterday, we had one purchase from this ad where we were retargeting people who had been to our website and watched our webinar. Pretty cool, right? And we got one purchase out of that. Then we had other ads where we were optimizing for completed registration, which is a lead, or some were optimizing for initiate checkout. So we got one initiate checkout, two initiate checkout, and on this one we got one more purchase, right? So what it does is when you install your Pixel in your ad account, you can see everything that happened. So I can see that yesterday someone attended my webinar, went to my select plan page, went to my checkout page, and actually purchased. Now, a lot of days you might just see, okay, I had 10 people attend from this ad. I had 2 people visit my checkout page and 0 people bought, or 1 person bought. And then you might see the next day with a retargeting ad, they'll show up under there. So you can see which ads are successful. This is a really important point I want to stress, because when you can see this data, you know which ads to duplicate, which ad sets to duplicate, which ad sets to optimize further, and which to focus on. Because if you're just running link click ads and you have a bunch of different ads like this, then you don't know which ad is actually the successful ad, right? So you want to make sure that you have your pixel installed, you know how to look for the right data to make sure you can run and duplicate and expand on the ads that are actually working, okay? So that's really the big thing. Even if it's just leads, like you can see which ads are generating lower lead costs, right? But I will say this, everyone gets obsessed with lead costs, and lead costs are sexy. Having like $2 leads is great. But what we actually found with our business is that we were optimizing for leads, and we were optimizing all our ads for leads at first. And what happened was we lowered our lead cost. When we first started, we were at like $3 a lead. And then we started optimizing for purchases of our online program. And what happened was our lead cost went way up. Our lead cost went from at that point, it was like $6, and it went up to like $14 or $15. And we were like, well, this can't be good. But our cost per purchase went down by almost half. So I can't stress that enough, is because we were optimizing for purchases in our conversion ad, then Facebook knew what we wanted, and they showed our ad to more people that were likely to actually purchase rather than people who are just likely to actually become a lead. So that's a really important point. Now, we're here to talk about the pixel, so I just want to explain that's a really important part of it. But in order to actually install it, you're going to go up to the top left, you're going to go to Business Tools, and you're going to go to Events Manager, okay? So now we're in the Events Manager, where we're actually going to see all of our events that are happening in our pixel pretty much in real time. So as you'll see here, my Facebook pixel is installed on my website. So in this dashboard here, I can see 8th Marketing's pixel, which is installed on my 8thmarketing.com website. I can see that yesterday I had 386 page views, 13 leads, 11 initiate checkouts. Those numbers are a little skewed, but that's okay. And 4 purchases. So that's awesome. Like I can see everything that's happening in real time. And over the course of many, many days, you can sort by month or week or whatever, and you can see all the traffic that's going to your website and all the actions that people are actually taking. Okay, so I'm in a new ad account with only 1 pixel. Now, from here, I can actually create a new pixel because I only have 1. So I'm going to show you how to do that and actually install it, okay? So what I would do is go to, on the far left, this green little button, Connect Data Sources. You're going to hit that, and then you're going to hit Web, okay? You're going to hit Web here, and then you're going to go Get Started. Web is basically for Pixel connecting your website, right? Click Get Started on the right, you're going to see Facebook Pixel. You're going to select that, and you're going to go Connect, right? Then you're going to name your pixel, and you're going to enter your website, and you'll actually be able to set it up. I'm basically going to, from there, go Add Events down here. Once you create your pixel, it'll show up on the left. You're going to go Add Events, and then you're going to go from a new website. So basically what you're going to do here is you're going to get the option to install your pixel. So you can install the code manually, which is what you'll do in most cases, or you can use a partner integration. So if I install the code manually, I can click this and copy the base code here, right? And I can actually just go into my website and put that in the header, okay? You're going to want to put that in the header of your website. So on WordPress, there's a section for the header where you can actually do that and install it. A lot of companies, like we use Real Geeks for our real estate business. We actually just email it to them and they'll install it on the page for us. A lot of providers will do that. You just have to email it to them. Some of them, it's as easy as them just punching in your Facebook Pixel ID. Okay, so I can copy the code, paste it into the website. That's really it, okay? Then if you have a partner integration, which you can use for specific websites like WordPress, they make it really, really easy. Kajabi, which is what we use, it's really, really easy. You can just click on this and follow the instructions. There's a bunch of little instructions. You're going to have to download a plugin, all that kind of stuff. So I'm not going to go into all of that, but it does walk you through how to actually do this really, really simply. You got to download a plugin, go to the settings in WordPress, add new plugin, install a plugin, activate it, and then you actually just go in and you put in your Pixel ID, as you can see here in WordPress. So that's really simple. You can just follow along and Facebook will guide you through the process of actually installing it on your website. Once you're done that, once you've installed it on your, for us, it would be a real estate website. For you, it might be an e-commerce website. WordPress and like Shopify and all these websites make it really, really easy, right? So if I go partner, you can see Shopify's in here too. HubSpot, like most of the big companies are in here, and they make it really, really easy to actually install the pixel. So pick whatever yours is and follow the steps and you'll get your pixel installed. Most of these big websites have event codes already baked in. So what that means is all of these page view, search, complete registration, purchase, like you saw before, that is already baked in to those big companies, but there are some that aren't. Now, there's something called events, okay? Now, this will be more for the technical users that are using things like ClickFunnels. If you want to use events, so for example, an event is page view, an event is search, an event is complete registration. What you would do is you would install, say on ClickFunnels, you would install the base code in the funnel, and I'll show you how to do that now. So you would go over to ClickFunnels, and in the funnel itself, you would want to go over to settings, and then you would actually put in the head tracking code, your Facebook pixel, okay? So you'd actually just take that base code that we just saw, right? From a new website, install code manually, you take this base code, and you'd install it in the settings section of that specific funnel. Okay, now that'll install it on every page in that funnel in ClickFunnels, but if you want to use an event, the process is a little bit different. When you're using events, what you want to do is you want to install the event code itself on the second page that someone gets to after they take that action. So for example, if someone fills out our opt-in, so our form, they fill out their name and they sign up for our webinar. Then they go to a thank you page, okay? So on that thank you page, you want to install the event code, because when they go to that thank you page, it'll trigger that code to fire back to Facebook and tell Facebook that that event happened, right? So for example, on this page, when someone opts in, they get sent to our second page, which is where the training actually happens. So I can go to edit, and what you'll notice is down here at the bottom, there's a custom script. So if I open this up and I open the code editor up, all I've installed here is the event snippet for conversion, or for complete registration, sorry. So I have the script here for complete registration. That's it. So I just have an event in there, a little piece of code that you can actually get from Facebook's Ads Manager. I'm going to show you where to get that. But that's how events work. If you want to do custom, like most of the time, I really want to reiterate this, most of the big platforms, Shopify, WordPress, a lot of those places have built-in events by default. Like on my website, it was already done. But if you're using landing pages, you have to get specific with the event itself. So if I go back here and I go continue, and then I go continue again, you'll see that there's the add event code here. So I can actually install them manually, or you can use an event setup tool. So I'm going to show you just both right now. So install the events using code. So I'm going to click this, okay? And basically there are standard events and then custom events. So you can actually create your own custom event if you want it to be like a t-shirt sale. It's for a specific sale, you can do that. If you want to create a custom event for pretty much anything, basically what that would be is if you have one unique funnel, like you don't want everything to just be categorized as lead. Maybe you want one to be like webinar lead and one to be like something else lead and another to be something else lead. You can do custom events, and you can install that event code on each custom page that they end up going to after they opt in. So basically here, if I click on standard events down below, they'll actually give you the script. It's really, really easy. So where you get that code is you go back to Facebook and you do the same thing. You go add events, but you do from the pixel, right? So you can add an event from the pixel, and then you can install using the events code manually, and that's for more advanced users where you can actually go in and you can take that specific code and you can plug it into your website like that, or you can open the event setup tool, which makes it really easy. So I can go in here and I can type in yvrhomesearch.com and I'll click open website. Now be careful, because if you do this, you need to make sure that you have your ad blocker off. If you have your ad blocker on, this will not show up. So just be careful about that. Then what you can do is you can track buttons that people click. So you could track, I could put track new button, I could click this, search, and I could track, I could select an event, and I could do subscribe or view content, for example. So I could select view content, I could confirm, and that would be an event view content. So whenever someone clicks that button, it would pop up back in Facebook in here as view content under these events, right? Now that's not as reasonable. What you might want to do is actually track a URL. So for some of you, you might have thank you URLs. Like when you make a purchase, you might go to the URL like yvrhomesearch.com/thank you. Now this is just a pretend example, but for example, what I could do is I could track URL, and if people end up on yvrhomesearch.com/thank you, then for ours, it's actually sign up form submitted is the proper URL. That's how it knows it's a lead. But I'm just doing this as an example. You could say purchase. So if URL equals yvrhomesearch.com/thank you, then there will be a value. You can assign a value to that actually as well. So I want to reiterate that most websites actually have the events baked in. So you won't really need to do this unless you're using like ClickFunnels or another landing page software. All you're doing is installing a little piece of code, and you can just go online and you can find that via Facebook. They've gone through a lot of changes right now where they're moving everything around. So it might be a little tough to find, but I'll post something in the comments where you can find like kind of the standard events and where you can actually get this little bit of code. But all it is FBQ track, and then you put in, instead of complete registration, if you're doing lead as an event, then you'd use lead. So that's basically how you install your pixel on your website or your landing page, and then how you install an event on a very specific page. So let's go into how to actually use it. Okay, so we're gonna go back to our ads manager. Now what we're gonna do here is, I'm not gonna go into how to create a full Facebook ad, but I'll link to a video down in the description of where you can go to actually learn kind of start to finish of how to create a Facebook ad. So there's two ways you can use the pixel really. There is one, when you're creating an ad and you're choosing your optimization goal, right? So this is what I'm going to show you really quickly, and then we'll show you how to create a retargeting audience. So if you hit create on the left-hand side here, then we're going to go into our ad creation process. Now what you're going to select here is, which you probably haven't selected if you've just installed your pixel, is conversions, okay? So conversions is what you're going to want to select. You can name your campaign. We'll just go test. And you can name your ad set and your ad here as well. Then I'm going to go continue. And what's going to happen here is when I go into my ad set, okay, so there's a campaign ad set ad. If you select your pixel, right, then you can actually choose an event. So we actually have a custom event that we created here called Ever Webinar Registration. So that's a registration for our webinar. Now, also we have complete registration, which is a lead, which is pretty much the same thing. And then we have webinar attended, which means people that actually stayed towards the end. Now, what you're going to do, these are all custom conversions that we've set up, which I'm not going to go all into right now. But basically what you're going to want to do is select whatever you want to optimize for. So this might be purchase, this might be lead, or in our case, lead is complete registration. So a lot of our ads will select complete registration. So we're telling Facebook, but what we want, the goal of this ad is for people to complete the registration form to become a lead. That's it. Otherwise, you might put in here is purchase, right? Purchase, or even like select plan or add to cart or whatever it is that you're trying to optimize for. I would generally optimize for what it is that you want. So in our case, generally what we're doing these days is optimizing for purchases, okay? So I would go down here and I would just select purchase. Now that I'm optimizing for purchase, that's the first way you can use the pixel. The second way you can do that is down here when we're talking about audiences. So you can actually go here and create new custom audience, and you can create an audience of people that have been to your website or took specific actions on your website. So there's two ways you can do this. One is you can do it in the ad creation process. You can click custom audience, right? And then you're going to get a bunch of options of creating audiences for the purpose of retargeting. So you can retarget people who've watched part of your video, and I'm not going to get all that in this video. I'll link here somewhere when I have it ready, a video where I'll explain the ins and outs of retargeting. But right now, what you would do is you can do video, you can do people who opened your lead form but didn't submit it. But in the case of the pixel, we're going to choose website. Okay. And essentially what we're going to do is we're going to select our pixel up here, and then you can start selecting what it is you want. So the most general and obvious way to retarget is you can do all website visitors in the past X amount of days. You can do up to 180 days. So if you were like an e-commerce business, you might do all website visitors for the past 100 days. And then what you can do is you can actually exclude people too. You can exclude them, but you can also include people, right? If you don't do all website visitors, you might do based on event. So here's one thing that we would do. To give you an example, I would do everyone who's completed a registration in the last 30 days, okay? But I want to exclude people who've actually purchased. So this is the reason you set up events, right? You want to make sure your events are active and you actually test them. And back in Events Manager, where I showed you in the beginning where you could see all the events, that's how you actually test the events. You want to go on your website, look at some pages, become a lead, make sure all those events are actually firing and they're showing up in your ad account. So anyway, basically what I would want to do is exclude people who've bought our program in the last 180 days, but I want to retarget people who've become a lead but haven't purchased in the last 30 days. So I might name this audience CR30 excluding purchases. And then I would create that audience, and then I can actually run ads to anyone who's completed the registration in the last 30 days. Now be careful with this, because people will get obsessed with retargeting, but this doesn't work well if you don't have enough people that have been to your website. Your ad won't deliver unless your audience is as big as 100 people. So if you think less than 100 people have become a lead on your website in the last 30 days, then you wouldn't want to use this. So most of you, when starting out with retargeting, you're going to do something very simple, like all website visitors in the past 180 days. You just try to capture everyone. And exclude people who've purchased, for example. In e-commerce, you don't need to exclude people who've purchased. You want people to purchase multiple times. So a lot of times for people, say e-commerce, another thing you might do here is, I don't have add to cart here, but say initiate checkout. So what you would do in e-commerce is you would create an audience of people who've initiated a checkout in the last, say, 7 days or maybe 30 days. And then you want to run an ad to them for like a flash sale discount. So people who add to cart, you might run an ad for like flash sale, 20% off, click here. They go back to their cart and hopefully they purchase, right? That's just an example of how you might utilize this and use it properly moving into 2021. So I hope that was really helpful. The other way you can create audiences is not in the ad process. You can actually go over to business tools on the left and go to audiences. Now audiences, obviously we have a ton here, right? But basically you can go ahead and create an audience, go create custom audience, and then again, you're gonna select your website, okay? Now that's in essence how you would actually use the pixel, and it's literally the same process. You click website, choose your pixel, and then you go ahead and create your audience of people however you want to create them. So that's essentially how to use the pixel properly. You want to use it to optimize your ad, and then you want to use it for retargeting purposes, and then you're good to go. Now, another thing you can do is actually download a Chrome extension called the Facebook Pixel Helper. What that will do is when you go to your website or landing page, you have this Chrome extension installed. You just click on it up here and it'll actually show you that the pixel is installed properly. And if you go to a page that has an event snippet, then it'll actually show you that that event snippet is there too. So a really good tool that you should use there as well. All right, everyone, that wraps up the content for today. If you liked this video, smash that like button. If you didn't, smash the dislike button. Any feedback helps. As always, consider subscribing if you want to support my channel, and hit the little bell if you want to get notified when I put out new content. If you're a real estate agent watching this video and you want to get into my free lead generation masterclass where we go over the A to Z of online lead generation, drop a comment below and I will send you a link to that training. As always, everyone, thanks for watching, and if you're still here, check out one of these 2 videos that'll help you level up your online marketing, whether it be Facebook or Google or whatever. I'm gonna post 2 very relevant videos here, so check those out, and I will see you guys in the next video. Thanks again.